Governor Huntsman, when it comes to reforming Social Security, is anything from your perspective off the table?
I don't think anything should be off the table, except maybe some of the drama that's playing out here on this floor today. I mean, to hear these two go at it over here, it's almost incredible. You've got Governor Romney, who called it a fraud in his book, No Apology. I don't know if that was written by Kurt Cobain or not. And then you've got Governor Perry, who's calling this a Ponzi scheme. All I know, Wolf, is that we're frightening the American people who just want solutions. And this party isn't going to win in 2012 unless we get our act together and fix the problem. We all know that we've got entitlement problems, we've got Medicare, we've got Social Security. The fixes are there. I mean, the Ryan Plan is there, for heaven's sake. We've got the answers. We don't have leadership. That's the problem.
Governor Huntsman, you have experience in the business community and government. Why would you be more effective in creating jobs than any of your rivals on this stage?
Well, let me just say about workers, this country needs more workers. Can we say that? This country needs more workers, and we're not going to get more workers until we actually have an economic plan led by someone who has actually done it before, presumably as a governor, to create the environment in which the private sector can then work its magic. That's how we're going to get from point A to point B. But let me just say that we have put forward a plan, Wolf, and I want people to take a serious look at this, because you can come up with spin on everything that, any way to describe your plan, come up with fancy language, but I just want you to take a look at what we have done, where we have been, in terms of proposing job creation measures under tax reform in our state that is totally applicable to what this country needs. Looking at regulatory reform, creating the most business-friendly environment in the entire United States. Creating health care reform without a mandate. I know that everything's bigger in Texas, and Rick likes to talk that way, and I know all the smart people reside in Massachusetts, but let me just tell you, Utah, the great state of Utah, was #1 in job creation at 5.9% during my years as governor. We were the best managed state in America. We were the best place in America for business. I'm the only person on this stage, Wolf, who can actually lay claim to all of that. And you know why it's important? It's because it's exactly what this country needs at this point in its history.
My question is, out of every dollar that I earn, how much do you think that I deserve to keep?
Oh, I love that question.
Governor Huntsman.
Well, I've come out with a tax program that basically simplifies, lowers, flattens the rate. Why? Because I did it as governor in the state of Utah. I believe that that experience means something. And I look at people who are earning, you in the workplace trying to make ends meet. You ought to be given a competitive tax code. We need to clear out the cobwebs. We need to clear out the deductions, the loopholes, the corporate welfare, and all the subsidies. And for you, you know, we leave it at 8%, 14%, 24%. Those are the three rates that I think would work on the individual income side. On the corporate side, I think we recognize the reality that a whole lot of companies can afford to have lobbyists and lawyers on Capitol Hill working their magic. Let's recognize the reality that they're all paying 35%. We need to lower that to 25%. So let's phase out the corporate subsidies and clean out the cobwebs and leave it more competitive for the 21st century. I can tell you, by doing that with our tax code, and I know because we did it in a state that took us to the #1 job creator in this country, it will leave you and your generation a whole lot better off. But the thing that you all need to be worried about is the debt that is coming your way, because we have a cancer that is eating away the core of this country called debt. And it's going to eat alive this country until your generation gets active in the 2012 election cycle and finds a leader who can address debt and growth.
Thank you, Governor. You also signed legislation in Utah that gave driving privileges to illegal immigrants. Was that a good idea?
Well, first of all, let me say, for Rick to say that you can't secure the border, I think is pretty much a treasonous comment. I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? Rick, you know, we can secure the border. We can secure the border through means of fences, through technology, through the deployment of our National Guard troops. We can get it done. In fact, when elected President of the United States, I would work with you and the other 3 border governors to ensure that through your law enforcement officials, you can verify that that border is secure. But I will tell you, before, Wolf, to your direct question, they were given a driver's license before, and they were using that for identification purposes, and I thought that was wrong. Instead, we issued a driver privilege card, which in our state allowed our economy to continue to function. And it said in very bold letters, not to be used for identification purposes. It was a pragmatic, local government-driven fix, and it proved that the 10th Amendment works. We believe in local fixes and solutions.
I know you want to respond to, because he said that what you did in Utah was a mistake, giving driving privileges to illegal immigrants.
I mean, we could spend all night talking about where Mitt's-been on all the issues of the day, and that would take forever. But let me just say that all the Latino voters, Hispanic voters want is opportunity. Can we say that? The greatest thing that we can do for the people in this country is on illegal immigration is fix homeland security. I mean, when are we going to have an honest conversation in this country about the root causes? We can't process people. The H-1B visa process is broken. We need to bring in brain power to this country to shore up our economic might. We need to bring in foreign capital to raise real estate prices as well. We need a fixed Department of Homeland Security.
Thank you, Governor.
What will you do to secure safety and protection for the women and the children of Afghanistan from the radicals?
Governor Huntsman.
We are 10 years into this war, Sahar. America has given its all in Afghanistan. We have families who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and it's to them that we offer a heartfelt salute and a deep sense of gratitude. But the time has come for us to get out of Afghanistan. We don't need 100,000 troops in Afghanistan, nation building at a time when this nation needs to be built. We are of no value to the rest of the world if our core is crumbling, which it is in this country. I like those days when Ronald Reagan, you talked about, when Ronald Reagan would ensure that the light of this country would shine brightly for liberty, democracy, human rights, and free markets. We're not shining like we used to shine. We need to shine again. And I'm here to tell you, Sahar, when we start shining again, it's going to help the women of Afghanistan, along with any other NGO work that can be done there and the collaborative efforts of great volunteer efforts here in the United States. We can get it done, but we have to make sure that the Afghan people increasingly take responsibility for their security going forward.
My question is, what would you do to get the economy moving forward? Do you have a plan? And if so, what is it?
All right, good question. Let's ask Governor Huntsman. The first thing you would do as President of the United States, knowing, of course, that President Obama today formally gave legislation to Congress with his jobs plan.
Let us recognize, first and foremost, that what we are seeing playing out in America is a human tragedy. We have millions and millions who are unemployed, millions beyond who are so dispirited they've completely given up trying to find a job. We've got moms and dads and families that have been economically shipwrecked, and it's a great American tragedy that we're watching play out. I have put forward a program that I want all of you to understand is basically patterned after what I did as governor. And I think when you look at everybody on the stage here, all you have to do is say, where have they been and what have they done? First and foremost, I want to reform this tax code. I put forward a program that the Wall Street Journal has come out and endorsed. It basically calls for stripping out the loopholes and the deductions and lowering the rates for individuals, cleaning out corporate welfare and subsidies on the corporate side and lowering the rate, leaving us a whole lot more competitive for the 21st century. That's the first item of business I drop on the doorstep of Congress. Second is regulatory reform, because we cannot go forward with Obamacare. We cannot go forward with Dodd-Frank because businesses in this country are saying there's no predictability, there's no ability to see around the bend. We don't know what costs are going to be. We're not hiring and bringing new people on. Third, this country needs to wean itself from its heroin-like addiction to foreign oil. We need energy independence desperately in this country.
Thank you, Governor.